Hello everyone and welcome back to SteemTrail Gaming. Today is the 28th of November 2017. My name is Kralizec and I will be your host for today in our gaming news. And today we got a quite decent number of news. Some of them somewhat neutral, some of them bad, some of them great. And let's start with the one I would consider pretty much neutral. And we're going to talk about microtransactions revenue on the rise on the PC. I don't think this really is a surprise to anyone. It's pretty obvious that this is happening and this would be happening. But the amount of money microtransactions make is totally bonkers. I didn't really expect the number to be this high. So let me show you a graph. Hopefully it will load soon. Yeah, here it is. So you can see this year, microtransactions in PC free-to-play game have made $22 billion. Compare that to DLC content that made $5 billion and to traditional sales that have made $8 billion. So it is almost double the amount of traditional content, let's call it, because these are just normal sales, you know, the 8 billion, and additional content that you could just call that expansion packs, and expansion packs are just pretty normal, and microtransactions just make ridiculously more money. And there's even some predictions for the future, as you can see. So by 2020 there's expectation that they will make $24 billion just out of microtransactions. Man, I'm just not sure if I like those numbers. You can also see that the rise for service-based monetization, aka DLCs and microtransactions, is rising quicker than just product-based monetization. That's pretty obvious. And these are the actual reasons why companies are going towards shitty behaviors with microtransactions. Because gamers want them. It's because gamers keep giving them their money through these microtransactions. So people, if you want to see companies go back to a bit more normal structure, though if that happens we might see a slight increase in prices of games, because they will need to keep their revenues rising. That's how companies work. If they aren't rising in revenue, something is not going really well. At least there still needs to be profitable. Obviously, if they're not profitable, they are big trouble. But companies are really trying to get more money in terms of revenue. That's their primary thing. Because more revenue means usually more profits. But on top of that, it means you can spend more money on developing more new products that actually bring you more revenue, which feeds this insane cycle of just making more and more money. You can see that straight off the... let me go to the graph one more time. You can actually see straight off the bat. In 2012, microtransactions have made more money than traditional content. And that sort of makes me sad. Obviously, the numbers is just getting more skewed towards microtransaction as time goes, because of the rise of microtransactions is just much higher than for traditional content. And man, are gamers just idiots? That's literally the only conclusion I can come up with. Gamers are idiots. Stop paying for shit in games that you actually don't want to. If it's free to play games, spend a normal amount of money. Don't pay thousands of dollars, even if you want to be one of those freaking whales. Spend a few hundreds of dollars, you will still be pretty much on the top. There's an estimate that there will, I think it was about 2% of players actually only spend money on free to play games. But you can see these 2% of people spend so much money. They usually spend, I think the estimate was somewhere around $10,000 on a game. $10,000, that's the price of a good car, to be honest. Not a new car, maybe like a 5-year-old small car, but a car in good shape if it's decent. Or a price of a rent of a small apartment for probably a year. people start making sense. You being idiots is what's making companies like EA want to just be shitty. It's not that they aren't evil. That's a lot of people, like, when they think of EA, they just think, oh, it's just a corporation, they're evil. No, they're not. The corporations, they actually have to make profit. It's written in law. If they aren't making profit, there's a problem, and the company is in big trouble. The primary point of the company is not to make games. Don't be mistaken. Their primary point is to make money. The making of games is the tool they use to make money, and people sometimes miss that. I remember the days where game developers were essentially fans of games who were making games because, yeah, I could probably make some money of it, probably make a living, a decent living at times, but it was still mainly fandom. But these days, most of these companies are just giant ass corporations, and giant ass corporations honestly don't care about the product they're making. If cocaine would be illegal, there would be a corporation making a shit ton of money on cocaine, even if it was ruining people's lives. It's the same with microtransactions. They're addictive as fuck, and people, if you keep buying microtransactions, they will be added into your games. There really isn't anything else that needs to be said to this. Stop buying shit with microtransactions. If you want to support a developer or a free-to-play game, spend like $20-30, but don't spend hundreds and thousands of dollars. It makes 0 sense, and it is really skewing the computer game market. Okay, next piece of news is actually sort of sad. Actually the first game in the Souls series, Demon Souls, will have its servers soon shut down. Yeah, it's been 9 years. It had a good run. But on February 28, 2018, the servers will go offline. So if you want to play some Demon Souls, you want to share some fun with your friends online, you probably have one of your last chances, and you should go and do it now. If somebody is just ignorant for some reason, Demon Souls was the first installment in the Soul series, which spawned games like Dark Souls or some little bit of... They aren't really spin-offs, they're just game in a similar market like Bloodborne, The Surge, or Nier. And sadly, I won't even say sadly. It's amazing that the servers actually managed to survive for 9 years. It's sort of ridiculous because this really isn't a game that is making tons and tons of money these days, and they are still running the servers, and we can just pretty much be proud of them for actually doing it. Okay, our next piece of news is about PUBG. Yeah, everybody loves PUBG. So PUBG is heading to mobile. Yes, to mobile. How, you might think? Well, for one thing, there are already pretty decent number of games that are mobile that are King of the Hill genre. But PUBG will go onto mobile first in China. We don't have an exact date. We don't have way it will treat its UI or anything like that. We just know this will happen first in China, but we can probably expect that sooner or later it will also release in other countries around the world. If you have good internet and you have a decent mobile phone or a good tablet, because I'm going to guess it's going to be on the Android probably as well, then be happy and have fun, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be popular on phones as well. And another piece of news, this one is just amazing. It's one of my favorite game series, even though I don't play them as much as I would like to anymore. Civilization 6 is going to get its first expansion. It's going to be called Rise and Fall. It has just been unveiled. There's some interesting features coming to the game. For example, the Great Age System, Loyalty, and Governors. The Great Ages system seems to be the biggest overhaul, and it's trying to pretty much fit some of the holes the original game has. So the Great Ages will pretty much be based on how successful you are as you know, your leader of your country, you will get to go into either a golden age or a dark age, and each of these will have special bosses, challenges, and modifiers. Interestingly enough, it seems the dark age will actually have primarily some negative modifiers and bonuses. So trying to avoid getting into a dark age might be a good thing. On the other hand, if you actually manage to complete all the challenges, or most of it, we aren't exactly sure on that right now, that will be posed to you in the dark age, your next golden age will actually not be called a golden age, it will be called a heroic age, and it will be just that much more powerful. That system seems just pretty amazing. Really want to see what Civilization does with it. The other system is loyalty. It's pretty much each city will just be loyal to you to some degree, and if you aren't taking care of it well enough, there's a good chance it will just leave your country. And yeah, screw you guys, I'm going home. That's pretty much what I'm going to say. On the other hand, to combat this system, or not combat it, just to make it a bit more sensible, there will be the new governor systems, which will be some new minor characters that will allow, for example, for some specialization in your cities, and can also reinforce loyalty. So this is pretty much all good news. It's just a new expansion, and getting new expansions is always nice. Okay, and our last piece of news for today is actually about Pokemon. I'm exactly of the age of from the people who fell in love with Pokemon. So following the release of the new Pokemon, what was it? Ultra Sun and Moon? I don't know. I haven't been playing Pokemon games for a pretty long time, to be honest. But the Pokemon franchise has passed an impressive sales milestone. So altogether, they have now sold over 300 million copies of games. Isn't that just ridiculous? 300 fucking million. That's 30 times my country. You could literally, if you take every copy of a Pokemon game sold around the world, you could give 30 of them to people in my country. That's ridiculous, and I'm really happy, though I understand a lot of people are just fed up with Pokemon, especially the ones that were right exactly at the wrong ages. Either they were too old, or they were too young, but those usually got into Pokemon a little bit later. But the people who were too old, I understand you're just fed up with Pokemon and you wish like, why is it still here? But for us who grew up with this thing, I loved it. Yay. Good for you, Nintendo. Congratulations. I hope you will get to 500 million over time. Okay, and that's it for news, and it's time to take a look at some recommendations for the Steam Autumn Sale. You have last day to actually buy some games, so go buy, go buy, go buy. Our first recommendation is going to be Nier Automata. So Nier is, well, pretty much a Dark Souls game. And not exactly, it's a bit different. It's from Square Enix, as you can see from the trailer that's running on the screen. Nier is currently available for $35.99, so that's a 40% discount. And if you like tough, challenging, and combat-heavy games, Nier is just there for you. On top of that, if you like looking at characters' nice asses, Nier is there for you as well. And if you just like Japanese themes, then Nier is the game that has that theme for you. So pretty much now we have all the major quote-unquote gaming themes covered. We have fantasy with Dark Souls 3 recommended. We have sci-fi with The Surge recommended. And we have now the anime theme with Nier Automata. Okay, the second game we're going to recommend is something that was sort of a surprise for me this year. It's Conan Exiles. So obviously this game is still in early access, and it's one of those survival games where you just start as a blank character, essentially just with nothing, and the point of view is to gather resources, build things, find stuff around, and become the strongest. Build a shelter, try to find a group. It's an online game, so it a little bit promotes alliances a bit more, if I understand. And on top of that, it has a great theme. Conan is amazing. The universe is seriously amazing and brutal as fuck. No, it's not brutal as fuck. It's metal as fuck. Seriously, Conan is the most metal of all the fantasy franchises. The game has great graphics. The gameplay is pretty nice, to be honest. I had lots of fun with it. Highly recommend. It's available for $20.09. I know, the price is weird. Why 9 cents? I don't understand either. But it's a 33% discount, and so if you're looking for something fun that you can play online and you like survival games, Conan Exiles is definitely there for you. The third game I will recommend to you is sort of onto the theme today. It's still a very hard game, or we could call it a very brutal game. It's Darkest Dungeon. If you haven't heard of Darkest Dungeon, you have probably been living under a rock. Darkest Dungeon is this little strategy combat RPG game. This is what I would call it. Based around the Cthulhu mythos, with tons and tons of madness. Literally madness. Your characters can actually go mad. It is currently available for $9.19. What's up with these prices today? It's like people were like, I don't care, just give it some discount. Maybe we'll end on some number. I'm surprised we haven't got something like $9.37. Now, well, this one is $9.19. It's a 60% discount. That's a great discount. There are a few expansions for the game, which you can consider getting, but to be honest, for people who haven't played this, I would recommend starting just with the basic thing so you can get somewhat comfortable with all the mechanics in the game. And our last recommendation for today, something for the cheapos out there or just people looking for a great deal, is FTL Faster Than Light, which is currently available for $2.49. So Faster Than Light is one of the games that made the roguelike genre really popular again. This one is around running your own ship in space. And getting it for $2.50 is insane. If you don't have it in your library, just go and buy it. Even if you don't want to play right now, maybe in 2 years you will want to buy it, and then you will just be sad that you haven't got it on this insane sale. And seriously, $2 is nothing. $2 is just ridiculously low price for this. And that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel, as we will be providing you with more gaming news each and every single day. If you're watching this on Steam, be sure to give us an upvote and to follow our blog for the same exact reason. In both cases, you should consider commenting. Either give us like your opinion, what was your favorite Steam sale? What do you think of the microtransactions issue? Tell us what is your opinion of the new Civilization expansion. We just want to hear your input. Tell me that you think I look like an idiot. I'm fine with that. I know I do. And what can you do? I was born like this. And with that being said, that's going to be it. So see you guys later with more gaming content.